Alright, got another open division game here. Pingu versus Retired Boxer. Let's get into it, game one. Alright, in the bottom left, we've got Pingu. And his opponent up top, Retired Boxer. Actually, might need to turn up the sound just a smidgen. There we go. Let me know in the chat how the levels are. I think it's pretty good at this point. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks alright. Okay. Anyways, sorry, apologies. First game of the day here. Gotta double check, make sure everything's good to go. So we've got some toads here, which is really cool out of Pingu. We have been seeing more toads on this patch. Again, we are on a balance patch here that did buff the HP of the toad. Boar has been nerfed, but that's not gonna stop it from being picked up from time to time. We do see the snake out of Retired Boxer, which I'm surprised we haven't seen more of, to be honest. It did get a buff on this patch. And the patch does seem very tier 2, tier 3 centric. And snakes are great against those types of units, so nice big map. You know, I think it's fairly even. Maybe I like it a little bit better for Retired Boxer because it's a little bit difficult to attack into their natural. Lovely name, by the way, Retired Boxer, referencing one of the greatest StarCraft Brood War players of all time. So, few forward warrants here from Pingu. Not too bad, but yeah, so Retired Boxer spot, again, a little bit harder to attack into this. You know, this terrain right here is a little bit difficult, kind of walking through the water, getting, you know, the AI a little bit goofed up by the doodads and the trees. And Pingu is a lot easier to attack, still on the high ground, but there is this little bit of road right here, which might actually come into play. Third bases are a little bit awkward for both sides. Actually, it's a lot better for Pingu than Retired Boxer. So if we do get to the... So it's interesting, like, in 2-base mode, maybe this is a little tougher for Pingu, but in 3-base mode it's better. But here we go. Pingu not going to take the game to 2 or 3 bases. Moving in. Going to try to punish this quick tier 2 out of Retired Boxer. And it's a Falcon as well, which... Falcons are surprisingly decent in little scrappy situations like this, but is it a little too late? As several pigs have already gone down. Pingu losing his commander is a little bit unfortunate, but overall, a very successful attack there. Needs to be careful with those toads. Don't want to lose them to the cabin, but losing one's not the end of the world. Yeah, this is a rough spot for Retired Boxer. I mean, losing those pigs is a very big deal. He's got to reinvest that money. He's going to go down on food production for about 60 seconds to build those up. And now more and more squirrels on the way. Second base being taken by Pingu. 5-minute mark is pretty far out still, but yeah, I mean, overall, this looks really good for Pingu. Boxer's in a really difficult situation. He needs to kind of stay back and lean into the defender's advantage. I'd like to see some moles out of Boxer, like he knows the toads are here. Nice deep scout there. You're gonna see pretty much everything there is to know. And Pingu moving out. And yeah, I don't know, like, if Retired Boxer had some moles here, maybe... Oh, but the toads are actually going down! Okay, one toad does connect. Boxer trying to fight in his pig line a little bit. The commander does go down for Pingu, but Pingu's forces are just overwhelming at this point. More and more damage on Retired Boxer. And this one might pretty much be over at this point. I mean, Pingu is kind of punched twice. I like this from Pingu as well. I'm not going to drag the game out. He knows he's got the advantage. Just going to come in here, and this should be it. Not to be, now there's one thing Pingu needs to be careful about. He just kind of keeps losing his commander like this. This is going to give Retired Boxer a chance, but just losing so much. One Falcon does go down for Pingu. He probably could have kept that alive if his commander stayed here. Yeah, I mean, Pingu's just going to keep, you know, build a couple farms on the second base. Keep building tier 1. Some more falcons on the way. And I think you can easily, yeah, it shows a lot of weakness here that those farms are not even able to be rebuilt. But honestly, if I was Boxer, I would not rebuild these farms anyways. I would go ahead and build those farms on my fresh base. And Pingu coming in for the kill here. Let's see if he doesn't lose his commander this time. Yeah, this is definitely going to be it. And Boxer will need to tap out here shortly. Game number 1, going to Pingu. And you know, honestly, I think that the story of this game was just a solid Squirrel Toad attack, to be honest. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. Like, Boxer tried to go into some Falcons. Didn't do anything incredibly greedy, but, you know, that first attack just dealt a ton of damage. You know, Pingu traded really well, and he also killed a couple pigs there. And that's really, you know, the name of the game, right? Like, you got to trade well, but you also have to actually get the damage done to the base, which Pingu did. So every additional attack, he was just kind of getting in and dealing more and more damage. All right, let's see if Boxer can tie it up in game number 2. I don't think Boxer played poorly or anything. I think we definitely have a good series here. On the left side, it is Pingu, and in the bottom right, it is Retired Boxer. Now, yeah, like, Pingu hit right at the right time, like right before Boxer's Tier 2 investment paid off. And I'm not the... Now, I'm probably wrong about this. It's kind of like a boomer tooth and tail take, but Falcons just never seem to be, to me, in my mind, to be that, like, first Tier 2 that you choose. And the reason I call it a boomer take is because, like, I've seen really good players go with Falcon first, you know. But to me, Falcon's like the unit that scales later. I'd rather have something like a skunk or a chameleon really quickly. So, like, maybe if that was a skunk coming out from Boxer, but still, like, Pingu hit, like, right at the, you know, right at the perfect time. I think was really the story of that game. And attacking in Tooth and Tail is just so difficult to get the right timing windows. Sometimes you just kind of get lucky. I mean, positioning is so important in this game, probably more so than any other RTS, to be honest. The way that engagements happen, it sometimes is very wild. And if you really analyze it and look at it, it's really just all about which units were in position first and were able to start shooting first. Because units in this game kind of clump up as they move, and they have to find a tile before they can start attacking. So that just kind of exacerbates the problem of like positionals, more so where in StarCraft or something where they don't clump, or if they do clump like Mutalisk, they don't need to find a tile, so it's a little bit easier for them to make those like snap movements. It's cleaner is probably a better word, but that's a big part of the mechanics in Tooth and Tail and the handling, is being able to move your units around efficiently and take attacks from the right angles. Pingu is just building his stuff right in the front lawn, just right here on the low ground. This is super risky. Pingu is trying to get just the slightest advantage on reinforcement lines. So by doing this, he's showing a very aggressive posture. And you know, the Toads, I love the Toads, honestly. Now, I really like that Toads are a relevant unit on this patch, because it really punishes decks like Boxers, for example. I feel like Toads punish the decks that don't take multiple Tier 1. You know, so, and because, like, Squirrel Toad just should, again, a lot of it comes down to positioning, like I've been kind of rambling about for the last couple of minutes, but Squirrel Toad should almost always beat pure Squirrel. Now Squirrel Toad versus Squizzard, or versus Moles and Squirrel, Squode versus Squall and Squizzard. You know, now we have different arguments. I think Squizzard is still gets beat by Squirrel Toad, but Squirrel Mole, you get those moles out there to tank the Toad hits. So yeah, so just pure Squirrel is a little bit tough. But Pingu actually hasn't moved out. Pingu does see the second base, and if you're going to pull the trigger and be aggressive, now's the time. Retired Boxer just put 180 food into that additional expansion. Is not really reaping the benefits of it yet, and Pingu's commander goes down again. I saw him trying to keep it alive that time. But again, he crushed in with those Toads. very effectively, and now some real damage is getting done. And it's unfortunate his commander died, because he probably could have kept that attack going and won the game right there. So a Warren went down, a Pig went down, and a favorable army trade. But Boxer is still alive here. Yeah, and the snake's coming out. Really would rather see some skunks, knowing that Pingu is going super aggressive. Now, if Retired Boxer can, like, hold the fort, he will be in a great position with the second base up and running, but look at those Toad connections, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, the Toads just really punish folks who are just kind of greedy with their deck and don't want to do a second tier 1. I don't really count Pigeons as a tier 1, like they are, but they're like a support unit, you know? It's not really the same thing. So another big attack here from Pingu. Boxer is gonna be able to run this down a little bit, get a bit of value off the retreat. More and more infrastructure is down. Ah, needs to keep this snake alive! Ah, runaway snake! The water got it, and here comes another big Toad explosion. Okay, this time around the squirrels were not all clumped up. But is Pingu's tenacity here enough? Alright, so the main base is starting to fallow out. We're at the 5-minute mark. So, let's see. Boxer is trying to hang on. He does have the second base, and you know what? Pingu could run out of steam here. I like the campfire pickup. That is a little bit like anti-committal. I think this base here was a mistake from Pingu. Like tank mills aren't that much of a thing nowadays. You can tell Pingu's an old school player from the tank mill. Because mills start with low HP and then slowly gain HP over time now. Because tank mill was like actually a really big part of the game. Look at the Toads attacking the mills, Pingu! I love it! Oh my god. So good. Did they nerf commander health? I'm not 100%. They're asking in chat. Yeah, it feels... It's so many things have changed. Okay. It looks like Melvin Fro's ready. Let me see how much longer Tatanka needs. Alright. Love to see the Toads smash into the buildings, man. Yeah, I am on a little bit of a delay, chat. I apologize. I know I don't interact with chat very much anyways, but... Whenever I play live, whenever I do matches live, I like to be on a delay. And we are going to do a live match here shortly. But we are on game number 3, and Pingu with some non-stop aggression, with some Squirrel Toad. Let's see if Boxer can pivot here in the top. One more game to 3-0 Pingu, and over on the right-hand side, Retired Boxer. Alright. Big map. Kind of an awkward map for a second base for Pingu. I guess not so... Oh, this right here is so rough, dude. It's very... Like, you see on the mini-map where I'm kind of zoomed in, the green and the black. This is actually... Like, there's no... Like, you have to move down this way, which I guess is not that big of a deal. Like, there is a ledge right there that you can kind of get through. And, you know, I guess that way's not so bad. But it always feels bad when there's awkward ramping to the second base. So... Pingu in chat, what? Tank bills aren't a thing anymore? Yeah. Yeah. It's... I actually... You know, I like the change. It wasn't necessarily because tank mill the reason it got nerfed. Yeah, here's Pingu building forward again, dude. Such an old... Yeah, Pingu's been around forever, man. I remember Pingu from back in the day, but... Yeah, so the main reason mill HP got nerfed was actually not because of the tank mill. It was because... defending 2 base was just so brutal. I think it was the Owl, Snake, Wolf meta. Owl, Snake, Wolf, Skunk. That Mishi beat Tatanka in a devastating upset. Because everybody in the community thought that deck was, like, unbeatable. And Mishi beat it with some crazy nonsense. But that was the reason. If I if my memory serves, that was in 2021, so a few years ago. But they just decided, like, second base... I mean, aggression's already hard in this game, especially at the highest level. That's why a lot of times you just see both players, like, skyrocket up to 16 farms, because you can hold attacks. You know, with good scouting and stuff, you'll know it's coming, and then you hold the attack, and then you're ahead, so it just makes more sense to not attack. Here comes Pingu, though, speaking of attacks. And these toads, again, like, just squirrels. Run in here, one pig down, and, like, here's the thing. You know, unless Boxer can counterattack right now and do devastating damage, like, Pingu's, like, basically got it already. Like, Boxer's got to move out, and if he did, I think Pingu would have been in rough shape. But again, that's what makes this game so hard, is, like, figuring out when you can and can't attack. And the people that are, like, our top-tier players, our pro-level players, for example, really understand that. But this is open division, of course, and we have players that are still learning the game or taking things a little more casually. But I do think if Boxer counterattacked right there, Pingu would have been very punished for all these forward warrens. So Boxer getting some falcons down. And, you know, this just Squirrel Toad aggression strategy out of Pingu's just seems to be working every game, which is really interesting to see. I love to see aggressive matches, aggressive play styles, because it is hard to pull off. But the second base is coming down for Pingu. Again, probably that tank mill or forward mill approach. Okay, I think Tatanka is going to be ready in about 15 minutes or so. Pingu coming in, though. I think we're going to have time for one more best of 5. So let me tell them that. Alright. So... Alright, we got some skunks out of the way from Boxer. But again, I think the big problem here is just the lack of moles. Like, you see somebody running this many toads, like, you can't survive just with squirrels. You gotta have something in the front line to soak up these toads. Like, watch this. Like, the toads get in, and only a couple of them connected, but still, like, just so much AoE damage. Commander goes down for Pingu there. And that trade, like, was... Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like Boxer kind of traded better in that one, but it doesn't really matter because the damage just keeps getting dealt, you know? That, and... you know, I've said a million times this series, like, attacking so hard and yada yada yada, but that's the benefit of attacking, right? Like, we can trade, but if I kill some warrens or I kill some pigs on top of the trade, you know, do that a couple times and that's game. So, a few farms coming up here on the second base for Pingu. And looks like he's just going to come in and finish this one out. Boxer trying to hold the ground. Yeah, I honestly think... You know, it is a shame because Boxer did have moles on the first round, but he decided to shift out of it. I want to see him just click down the middle of the toads. Aw, I don't think he had enough. Oh, he's going to click it down anyways, though. 2 HP. There it is. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't even notice the ninja. Holy moly. Boxer pulling a fast one on the caster. That's less impressive for Boxer, more embarrassing for me. So, Pingu's now got to do that kind of annoying thing, if we're honest. Just like, sigh. Alright. This game is definitely over. Finds the base. And I think from here, yeah, so Boxer's going to move stuff down there. But this one is over for sure. So, nice 3-0 victory for Pingu. Off the back of some great toad aggression.